Welcome, my friends, to another captivating episode of Motivational Moments with Maria. I'm your host, Crazy Coach Maria. So inspired to be here each and every week to bring you thoughts on energy, vibrancy, living a positive, joyful life. And it is my intent to bring guests that I know can impact some of you. And today, I am so thrilled that I get to introduce to you Miss Laurie Kennedy. Now, Laurie Kennedy, this is kind of a unique situation. Laurie Kennedy is what we call a caregiver coach. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, what is a caregiver coach? And let me tell you, having been a caregiver for 10 years, I wish I would have had someone in my camp. And so I'm going to introduce Miss Laurie. Welcome to the show. We're going to have a great conversation. And I want you to know that if you know someone that is a caregiver, this would be the podcast to listen to and to share with others because no one but the caregiver knows what they're struggling with. But Laurie does because she's been doing this a long time. Laurie Kennedy, welcome to the show from beautiful Colorado. And I love the green you're wearing today.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. It's been a long time coming, and so I'm so grateful for you. Thank you, everyone who's joining as well. Like Maria said, I am Laurie Kennedy, and I am a caregiver coach. And it's been a journey to get here. I have been a caregiver for 24 years in the disabled nonprofit sector,
Okay,
and I've
stop for a minute.
also
Stop that. Can you stop for a moment? Tell me a little bit more about that.
about the
In
disabled nonprofit sector.
yes.
So, um, kind of a little bit of a long short story. My parents started, I have a disabled brother, biological disabled brother, and we started foster care back in 1988. And so I was 5 years old, and my parents started foster care with helping the disabled population here in our county. And it just kind of grew from there. We were at one point the only group home for disabled children, for pediatric children in the state of Colorado. And we moved away from pediatric care into adult care because our clients needed continuity of care, and they weren't going to get that as they moved to adult care. So we moved to full-time adult care. We started adult care in 2014, and then in 2018 we moved to full-time adult care and no longer in pediatrics. And I have been a full-time caregiver since 2000 and 2005. I full
Wow.
time, but before that, I was doing respite care and growing up in a home with all of these children with needs. I was caregiving as well because my parents, I was typical functioning, so my parents relied on me and my sister to kind of help out around the house. So I've had been a caregiver my whole life, but officially, I have been a caregiver for a full-time caregiver for 20 years. And in 2000, I was part-time. So 2000 to 2025. So to now.
Okay. So 2000, so 2020 to 2009, to now, excuse me, you had been doing some part-time. Um, so what, sometimes we go off on our paths a little bit and we're looking at other opportunities, but I think you had an awakening moment and said, this is what I do. This is who I am. When did that happen for you?
That happened. I was actually working only part-time doing respite, and it happened while I was working at a bank. And I was like, I hate this. I am not meant to be here. And I just knew that I needed a change. And I know that I'm good at caregiving. So I actually started working part-time overnights um, for my parents. And I moved up to full-time overnights and then part-time day. And I moved my way up through a business that just so happened that my parents started. So it was a family-owned business, but I started at the bottom just like everybody else.
Well, good for you. I mean, I applaud you because you went to do something different and you resisted what you knew you were naturally good at, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I've had couple different awakenings, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
throughout my caregiver career on what I want, what I don't want, and learning how to adjust in my career has it's been difficult. It's difficult to make changes when you're so compassionate about something.
Mm-hmm. It is, and you resist it. You go, this isn't me. I'm going to go do something different. I've been doing this my whole life. And then one day you get like a download from the universe, from God, from spirit, whatever it is, and says, this is what you were meant to do.
Yep.
So rather than fight it, let me embrace it because I love it. And you make such an impact on others now, don't you?
I feel that my impact on others is so needed because there's not the strength in numbers that caregivers need. We don't have we give so much to everybody else, and we don't have somebody to at least understand what we're going through. And a lot of people are like, oh, I can't do what you do. And I'm like, sure you could. And in growing and learning, no, not a lot of people can be a caregiver. And so we are a special breed of humans. And I am here to remind everyone that not everyone can do what you do.
That's right. Not everyone can do what you do. And it's funny you say that because I just had a conversation with a friend of mine who she says, I can't do this. She says, and it's not even a family member, but she got called on to be, quote, nursing duty, if you will. And she says, I just cannot handle somebody throwing a tissue on the floor and, you go pick that up because that's just not me. I'm not one to be at someone's beck and call if they need it. And I said, so I couldn't do it. And so I applaud you because you're a rare breed. And what happens with caregivers is what I notice is, as you said, they take, they give so much to everyone else and not to themselves,
Yep.
right? So, so you having had all this experience, what kind of obstacles and challenges do you have with being a caregiver?
My biggest obstacle, and it's something that I will always have to work on, is my work home balance because
Hmm.
it's, I think that happens in any profession, but burnout happens really fast when you're a caregiver. And
Hmm.
so my goal is to make sure that I am still going as well as I can and giving what I can. But to do that, I still have to remember that I have a family, I have a life at home, and those things need to be taken care of as well. So it will always be my biggest challenge, if you will. But while it's my biggest challenge, I also want people to understand that it is possible. And as you know, as your kids grow, as you mature, as things happen at work, it's always going to be a challenge because things are always going to change as clientele changes, workspace changes, staff changes, things are going to change. So you have to be malleable in those areas, but still give yourself the space and the grace to know that some days are going to be better than others.
Absolutely. Some days are going to be better than others. And I know that, I mean, guys watched you come to sessions and meetings and, you're just like such a bright light for caregivers. It's just incredible, the support that you give to others. And that led into, you know what? There are so many people out there that need support. Because I mean, personally, my own story is I was, taking care of my mom for 10 years on and off, dialysis and this and that. You got to just be on all the time. And you don't realize the stress it puts on you, right?
Yeah,
And I didn't realize how it was impacting the family or how stressed out I truly was until afterwards. And then I said,
yeah,
wow. And I'm telling you, um, and one of my colleagues of mine, he was a full-time caregiver as well. And he just says the stress is incredible. I feel like I just can't have a break. Can't have
yeah.
a break. How do you handle that?
It has taken me a long time. And I would say a long time, as in this is probably newer in my career in the last 3 years, where
Hmm.
I haven't had the guilt of wanting to take time for myself. Because I've always felt guilty that I want to go do something, or that I need a day off, or that I want to go and have dinner and don't want other people to go with me. And I felt guilty about that. And it's taken me a lot of work to understand that those are things that I have to do for myself so that I can come back to work and still be present for the people that need me most. And I think some of the biggest things that I started doing is I started working on myself, one. And number two is I started doing the things that I used to want to do all the time. So I wanted to, and these are just little things. I wanted to sit and do a puzzle. I wanted to sit and read a book. I started making time to do those things. I want to go play cards with my friends at their house and have pizza, making time for those little things. If you have a day off, make sure that you're scheduling time in your day off for just you. Even if you have to run errands and do something at the school and, whatever, you still need time for you because it's your time that you can recoup. And it doesn't take a lot of time to really feel a difference if you can do it consistently.
Hmm. So have you set up specific routines that you follow for your self-care, if you will, your re-energizing? Are there specific habits that you have created for yourself?
I think the biggest routine that I have created is my journaling and daily self reflection. So I journal twice a day. I journal in the morning, just getting up what I'm grateful for in the morning. And getting up in the morning and being grateful sometimes is like, oh God, it's 5:30. I don't want to do this. But being grateful to wake up and go downstairs and make a cup of tea. And so my morning routine starts earlier and I get myself ready before I touch anybody else so that I know that I have given myself all the care that I need, brushed my teeth, washed my face, showered, whatever it is that I need to do. I have sat down, I've had either, I have a cup of tea, but someone can have a cup of coffee.
Hmm.
Before you touch anyone, make sure that you're taking care of you. Because if you start taking care of everyone else, everything that you need to do to care for you, brushing your teeth, washing your face, brushing, washing your hair, whatever it is you need to do, really gets put on the back burner. And once all of your clients know that you're awake and you're there, it becomes a lot harder to make the time to do those things for yourself. So my biggest,
And go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, you're good. My biggest routine that I've made is making the time to get myself ready and journaling about it in the morning. I'm grateful that I woke up this morning. I'm grateful that I felt like I got enough sleep, little things. But then at night, when I lay down before I go to bed, I am reflecting on my day. And it could be good, it could be bad, it's whatever. And getting thoughts out that I need to get out on paper so that I can sleep. So I don't wake up at 3 a.m. going, oh my God, I need to remember this. If I can write stuff down, it allows my brain to go, okay, it's out. You don't have to remember it. So daily self-reflection, morning gratitude, daily self-reflection. Those are
I
my two
love that.
biggest
Love it.
routines.
Love it, love it, love it. And most people don't do that. They don't have that morning routine. Girl, I am a big routine person. I have to have my morning routine. And just like you, wake up, gratitude, listening to my motivational,
Mhm.
inspirational things, just doing all of those things. Also, movement in the morning for me is important. That's how I prep for the day. And of course, at the end of the day, oh my gosh, what happened today? How did I make a difference for
Good, bad,
someone
ugly.
today?
Yes.
Good, bad,
Yeah.
ugly. Oh, I could have done this better. But it is that daily routine that we continue to grow. Now, you went on your own. You said working on yourself. What kind of things did you do? You said working on myself. What do you mean working on yourself?
So um this it, this was unexpected. A short story, I lost my dad and I almost lost my mom and I got a divorce in less than 8 months. And
Good.
it was very, very stressful. And I was still doing full-time caregiving. And so it was extremely stressful. And after my dad passed, I didn't think that I wanted to be a caregiver anymore. I cut my hair off. I dyed, and I've had pink hair for 20 plus years. I dyed my hair back to straight blonde. I cut it all off and I was going to find a different job. because I was like, I can't do this anymore because I did all of my dad's end of life care. And that was extremely stressful, but I'm so grateful. And, but I didn't realize the stress that it put on me. And then turning around and immediately caring for my mom, who was grieving, but not grieving. Like she wasn't allowing herself to grieve. So came out in different forms. And then going through a divorce, all of it became an issue. Well, when I got back to Colorado, because I was living out of state as well. So I was traveling back and forth between states. But when I got back to Colorado, I was like, I got to change something here. Like something's got to
Hmm.
give. The very first thing I started doing is listening to small, like 10-minute videos on YouTube, something that motivated me just a little bit. I wasn't into really big personal development or anything like that. So in 2022, I am part of a network marketing business.
Hmm.
I have a makeup and skincare business. And a leader from that business was going to this conference in Las Vegas. And I wanted to meet her. And I was like, I have the time off. I'm just going to go. And that is not something that I normally do. I don't just go somewhere when I don't know anybody. That's not how I roll. And I made the decision and I told myself that I was going to do something that I never had done before. And that was the start of my journey into personal development and understanding where I needed to go and what I needed to do to make myself better. And then seeing all that and knowing that I could help other people see that really is kind of what led me here.
Congratulations to you, because most people do not see the advantage of that personal development, personal growth. And once you do, you go, wow, it is like such
Yeah.
an awareness. And awareness is the first step to change, right? The
Amen.
first step to change, awareness, like, oh my gosh. And I applaud you for that. Now, you are, as I said, you are a caregiver coach. And I know that there are so many caregivers that need services like yours, and you've put together a kind of like a group coaching program for caregivers, right? It's
Yeah.
not a support group, but it's a group coaching, because as coaches, one of our responsibilities is to challenge people, because sometimes caregivers can really feel sorry for themselves, now can't they?
Oh, the guilt that caregivers put on themselves is insane. And I can say that from all honesty. And
Hmm.
I think that as a caregiver, full-time caregivers especially, they will carry guilt for the rest of their lives.
Hmm. Hmm.
And a guilt that maybe they didn't do enough, or guilt that they should have given more, guilt that that they feel bad that they're taking time. My guilt comes when I feel like I'm doing something and I want to do it alone. And some of my clients who are all disabled, I'm like, they'll never get to experience this. So my guilt, you'll always carry guilt. And you have to learn that God, not to put my beliefs on anybody, but whoever you believe in is allowing you these opportunities because they're your opportunities. So guilt can be heavy, but there are ways to work through it. And I think my biggest way that I have worked through guilt is through community. And so it is so important for me to have that community for other people as
Hmm.
caregivers so that you guys can talk to each other and know what each other's going through so that you guys know that you're not alone. Because sometimes caregivers feel extremely um, left out of society, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I hear you. And I love that you said you're not alone, and you are not alone. There are so many people. It's kind of like it's the quiet, hidden group, and they're afraid because of, you said, the guilt. They're afraid to speak their truth, when in reality they're suffering, and they need someone like you, Lori, to step into their life and to guide them and challenge them and to encourage them that there is still life. Even though you are a caregiver, you can have a most incredible life while sharing your gifts with so many people, right?
Amen. Amen.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. There's just so many things. And and I'm looking at, like, you're looking at, like I said, I mentioned you've got a group coaching program, or even if you do individual one-on-one coaching for caregivers, right? And it's so helpful for them to, again, just get on a coaching call with you, or do some group coaching to help them release some of that stress, help them understand what tools and what processes they might be able to introduce to their daily lives, like journaling, gratitude, end of day, Friday finishers, Sunday planning, all these little
Yes.
if you have frameworks and tools that we can use and systems that will help us and guide us. Now, let me ask you this. What are some of the trends that you're seeing in your world of I've never heard of a caregiver coach. So are you seeing any new trends? Are you seeing an explosion of them? I know there's coaches out there for all
I
kinds of things.
I think the biggest trend, and it's not just in caregiving, where people wear burnout like a badge of honor, and it's
Mm,
not. And
okay, good.
so people walk around, and I am specifically speaking to caregivers, but it's really our society has gone, you have to work hard, you have to this, if you take time off,
Hmm.
but then you've got the YOLO and people are like, live your best life. So people are finding it harder to find a balance. So they're working themselves to death and then trying to do things outside as well. And it's not, that's not balance. So I think the
Hmm.
biggest trend is the burnout badge of honor, and it's not a badge of honor. All it's going to do is shorten your life, and it's just going to make you miserable. And I can say with all honesty that burnout comes and goes. There are
Hmm.
times I feel completely refreshed after my time off. I feel completely refreshed. And there's other times that I'm like, I did not take advantage of my personal time before I have to come back to work because I work 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. But I move in, like I live and breathe 24/7 caregiving for 2 weeks.
Hmm.
So I have to manage my time to make sure that on my time off, I'm actually taking care of myself better.
Right,
And
right.
like you said, when my big things, and nothing that I teach is like groundbreaking, but I'm going to push you to do those things so that you can see a difference. And
Right.
that is, journaling is a big one, and getting the right people in your corner that are encouraging, that are there for you, that understand what you are going
Hmm.
through. I think those are
Right.
some of the biggest things, because you can talk to all the people in the world, but if they don't know what you're going through or they don't understand, you're just talking to a wall.
Right.
They're
Right.
not going
Right.
to be
No,
able to
this is beautiful.
they're not going to be able to give you anything.
They're not going to be able to give you anything. And I love that you say you I always say people need to be reminded more than they need to be told. So people say, well, why do you have a coach? Well, because I need to be reminded. Why do you have a
Yep.
mentor? Because I need to be reminded. Why do you have an accountability? Because we need to be reminded and hold each other, because it's so easy. It's so easy to get back into that place where I'm feeling sorry for myself. Oh, woe is me. I'm a victim. Nobody understands me. But
Yes.
when you're surrounded by like-minded individuals who can share with you what they're going through, what they're experiencing, and we can lift each other up. So
Mm-hmm.
now,
Yeah.
speaking of lifting each other up, I always end this, besides asking you, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, how would they get a hold of you? How would they reach
I'm
out to you, Miss Laurie Kennedy?
I'm fairly easy to get a hold of. I am on most social media platforms. I'm very active on Facebook, pretty active on Instagram, and I'm okay active on TikTok.
Yes.
And easily gotten a hold of. All of my handles are the real Laurie Kennedy. My name is spelled Laurie, just for everyone
Thank
to
you.
know.
I know, because you don't
And
know if it's Lore, Lori. Yeah,
there's like 5 different spellings. So
I know.
I'm very easily gotten a hold of. And I do have, for people that are interested, I have a questionnaire that I can send out to you so that you can really understand like what maybe you're going through. Like, I don't know if I'm actually burnt out or if I'm just tired or things like that. And I can help you through all of those things.
Hmm. Yes,
And
absolutely.
I want to make sure that, because I feel that caregivers can be vulnerable because we want to give so much to everyone else.
Mhm.
So I want to honor your time that you have, so that I can make sure that I can help you. I want to make sure that if you are coming to me, I am your right coach because I know how valuable your time is.
Absolutely. And I know how valuable you are. So I'm going
Mm.
to ask you the question that I always ask at the end of the show, end of an interview is if a genie popped down and said, Miss Laurie Kennedy, I'm granting you three wishes, what would those be for you?
My first one would be to have no mortgage payment, have a
Yeah,
house,
great.
but no mortgage payment, would be
Okay.
my big one. And my two other ones actually are to grow my business to be very successful so that I know that I am helping others, that I am giving to others what they need. So that is super important to me. And then my third one would be to probably have a lifetime pass to Disney and never have to pay for it.
I was wondering if that was coming because you
Yeah,
are one of the big Disney fans. I know it.
I'm a
It's like,
huge Disney girl. So
yeah,
I
she's a
would a lifetime Disney pass that I never have to pay for and I never have to pay to like stay there. I'm done. I'm there.
oh, but you don't want to go to the Club 33 membership? I mean, did or
I
whatever that
mean,
one is.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine. I mean, that's
that's
great and
fine.
all, but that comes with, you know, that comes
Yeah.
with some people that probably don't fit in my circle.
Okay, doesn't don't fit in your circle. Great. I love it. Listen, Lori, I really appreciate you joining me today. And for those of you that are out listening or watching this, remember, you know someone that is a caregiver that may need some support. So reach out to Lori, the real Lori Kennedy on all the socials. And maybe someone just needs someone to talk to for a little bit, but she's got such a depth and breadth of experience that she could share with others because being a caregiver is hard work. Lori, thanks for joining me today. And to you, my friends, my fans, my loyal fans, I always want to say stay focused, stay positive, always have fun. And no matter what you choose to be, do, or have, do it with passion. And I will speak with you next week. Have an awesome rest of your week.
Thanks, everyone.